Y miramos dentro del auto y dijimos, oh, pues el auto... ¿Qué mierda es?
You can see a face in the door. That's pareidolia. So probably what that is the reflection of the headrest, and the lights just being split differently. It's just a simple case of pareidolia. We're not really looking at a ghost unless it moves. He's got an alien in his backseat right there. Oh, too far. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh fuck, dude, is that your car? Brother, no way. Could it be a reverse reflection off the roof? No, that because there's somebody. You got somebody in your car, man.
Cagazo.
No way. Check the trunk. Check the back. Ooh. We can't really see. It's too dark. Can I raise the brightness on this? I don't have those cool tools that Nick has. So, okay. Okay, let's back it up and let's analyze this a little bit. What are we looking at here? A little further. Okay, so we're seeing a face. There's a person who's inside the car. Let's see if we can spot a cut. That's the first thing I would imagine is maybe they've just cut out the transition between them. There's somebody inside the car or not. Let's see if we can identify one. No. Because at this very moment, there's very clearly somebody inside the car.
Salimos rápido para que vean que no es mentira. La piel de gallina, hermano.
There's no obvious cuts there.
Cagazo.
He could cut while he's swiping. So the person's clearly here, like in the car. We'll move their head to the right and move their head to the left. It could be, well, because he's zooming into it, it'd be difficult to track that surface properly unless you're using DaVinci, because DaVinci has like a tracking software built into it. So to do this kind of motion tracking on this particular object, it would be rather difficult. That right there could have been it, though. I think I just saw something. When he puts his camera down, and then you see how his camera like sort of like dips down right here. A little further in. Sorry, I don't have a lot of energy. I just got off work. I'm really fucking tired. It's been a really busy week. Christmas is like right around the corner, so we're getting all of our orders for next week. Yeah, right there. That's where it is. When he puts his camera down here, this is where it cuts. So he pulls his camera down, cuts off the car, right? And then essentially what I'm thinking happens is he turns off the recording, the person gets out of the car, and then he like picks the camera back up, and then he'll do something like a transitional blur, something like a smooth cut in between these two takes here. So camera goes down, he pulls the camera down right here, and then he pulls the camera back up. And just that little jerk motion there is enough. He pulls the camera down, pauses the video or turns the video off, turns the video back on, and then he'll do a smooth cut in between there. Okay, so here we are in DaVinci Resolve. This is, it's a little dated. I don't have the most recent version because it's a bitch to reinstall. But we're looking at DaVinci here. This is like last week's episode, maybe the one you saw on Tuesday, if you guys watched that episode. So we're going to use this end card here. It's a funny expression, but we can very easily go over to our effects tab here. We're going to scroll down to maybe video transitions, and we're going to look down to see a smooth cut. Okay, so what a smooth cut is going to do is it's going to blend these two images together. So instead of seeing a direct cut, you see, did you even notice the cut? The cut is effectively gone. There's a little tiny bit of like data loss or data compression around my shirt here. Let's like zoom in really good here. So tell me where the cut is without looking at the bottom. No cut. You didn't see the cut, right? It's a little ripply. That's fine. Let's remove that cut now, and I'll show you what that looks like without that smooth cut. Snap. See that snap? That's basically what we're talking about when we say smooth cut. When we're talking about these particular things, like if we're looking at this, you might notice a little bit of that like sort of deflection. So he's got a shaky camera already. Watch him pull the camera down, and you see how quickly it snaps back up. It's almost like a rebound. That rebound might be in where I would put in a little sneaky cut. Using that smooth cut, it'll blend those two images together and make it look like it doesn't snap. But we did see like a weird jerk upward, and that little bit of like like quick rebound there. That snap back motion almost tells me that there might be something edited there. That's where I would put a cut. That's where I would put a smooth cut specifically. Yeah. And theoretically using ripple cut, I should be able to delete all of the silence from when the last time I talked to now. Watching the second clip here.
Lights, they turn off automatically at a certain hour.
Sure.
And I'll tell you right now.
The audio glitching sounds like a sleeve rubbing up against the camera. He's very clearly wearing some sort of like snowsuit or some sort of like crinkled material that is making that rubbing sound, and that rubbing sound is peaking the microphone.
And he would see and hear things.
I wish I could speak with the same clarity that Nick does, but I have a language disability that prevents me from reading good and speaking good, but comprehension, I'm great at. I can comprehend a lot. I don't talk so good. Words are hard.
Right by these urns that they put on these tables here, and then I come down.
Is he work in a crematorium? Is that what we're going out here? Yeah, I see. Okay. Now, what's interesting about this one, Nick and I think Nick and I have looked at this one in the past, and what we're led to believe is the top lid here is moving on its own, and we can almost sort of see it when he zooms in. We can see the lid kind of move. Or not. Let's back it up and see if we can see the lid moving. Okay, I skipped over it, my bad. Okay, so the sound that you're hearing is, in my opinion, doesn't really sound like ceramic grinding against ceramic. It kind of sounds like somebody dragging something metal across the baker's racks they have here, the U-line baker's racks. Or these aren't right. The U-line, these are Costco. So this lid here, or this lid, there you go. That lid moved. So how would I explain this, or how would I do this? We're fairly confident that he's holding the phone. We're fairly confident that it is set up on a tripod, and then he's using some sort of like graphics manipulation or video manipulation to like make it look like it's panning or like shaking around. That is something else we can do. It's like a motion tracking software where we can track the lid of that and then have it move around and then have the camera sort of pan around that. I don't think that's what's happening here. I think we're looking at the top of an urn is moving on its own. Hey, how would this happen? It's not as though I would say, I would not chalk this up to air pressure or any kind of temperature differential. You could argue that the shelf is unstable and, well, you know, the lid being placed at a specific angle, and then maybe somebody's off to the side here, gently nudging the shelf and having it slide back into place. We do have footage of the rest of the environment. So his little snap there, where he like whips around, it's very easy to put a transition in here or hide a cut in here. It's very quick, right? And so I would say that there's a high possibility that there's a cut there. There's no reason to put a cut there, so that might not be what's happening. We have an opportunity over here on the left side to hide somebody below the desk here, who is interacting with it, but these shelves aren't merged together. These two shelves, all the shelves, that one's not. These two shelves are on the same level. The bottom shelf is also on the same level, so you can use an S hook. We use them at work to mate all of our shelves together so they're a little bit more stable. You can mate those shelves together so that any manipulations over here or any manipulations over here could do the trick, but this shelf is not connected to these shelves. So we're looking at, when he zooms in here, there's a focal change because he has a wide angle lens to a normal change, to a telephoto lens. So it's switching between the photo lens, like the wide angle lens, or the standard lens, and then switching to the telephoto lens. That's why we had that little bit of a click down there. That's not graphic manipulation. Now, once we're zoomed in here, that initial sound suggests to us that initial sound pushes, words are hard. Maybe I'll do some editing on this video. The initial sound that we heard is suggested to be the lid raising up onto the side. Once it's up on the side, there's a good chance that it's no longer stable. So what we're looking at here is an urn with a lid that could be free to slide easily with a very small amount of motion. Now, the initial sound we heard could have been an overlay on top of the video. So when he's facing away from us, there is a very strong probability that the sound that we heard, which is suggested to be the lid moving, is actually recorded in post and then overlaid on top of that original video. Therefore, when he's in this room, the lid is already sitting on its ridge, as we see here. Now, if we're correct to assume that the ridge was already set up like this, and that this is a glazed porcelain urn, we can surmise that it requires a small amount of force to return that to its seated position, given that the top of this would be chamfered to allow the top of the urn to sit flush, as we can see in this one up here, this blue. Now, suppose the guy cut the video as he zoomed in and had a co-conspirator over here behind my shoulder, holding onto the shelf and gently nudging it to get the urn's lid to like fall back in place. That's a pretty easy way to get that effect done. Now, the reason I think this is possibly what's happening here is because the initial sound doesn't sound like it sounds like it's repeated. It almost sounds like a metal bar being dragged across the ground rather than what it is, which is glazed porcelain sliding on itself. Take a listen. You hear that? A sort of continual echo after the fact. What it sounds like is this baker's rack they have underneath here. It sounds like they're dragging something metal across that rack to make that noise. There's too much clicking in the sound file for me to believe that maybe this is the top of this porcelain urn, but let's apply that logic. At this point in the video, when he's looking away, that piece is already seated on the ridge. It's the same sound. So we heard almost like maybe ceramic grinding against ceramic and vibrating to the rack. But when he turns around, maybe this is what happens. Okay. He's looking away. His friend is over there manipulating the urn to make the noise. He pulls the camera down and swipes up. In that time, he cuts the video. And then he creates a smooth transition, like we showed earlier, between these two clips. His friend is no longer there. The sound continues because he recorded the sound beforehand. Or maybe his friend was already there. And so his swipe up to that action point, his friend is currently in the frame right here in the original file where we have that audio clip carrying all the way through. Now, if the audio is positional, when he's facing the hallway, it should be coming towards the camera and into the microphone, which is usually located at the base of the phone. Now, if that's the case, when he turns the camera around, the microphone would be facing the other way and would be catching reverberance rather than the direct audio. So when we listen to the audio back, it almost sounds like the pitch doesn't change, or the direction, what we would say the Doppler effect, does not apply to this particular sound effect. It does raise just a tiny little bit, almost like a sharp end to that note. However, it's not enough for me to determine if the camera is picking up like a geopositional, like the audio reverberating off the walls. So what we're looking at here is we have an urn with a lid that is propped up, though we didn't see it initially move. What we surmise initially moved while he was looking away, and this is all one continuous video and there are no cuts. So we're led to believe that the urn's lid had moved like that on its own because we heard it. But when he zooms in, there is a little bit of an inflection. There's a little bit of a shift in the video footage. Watch the chair. You see that where it clicks upward? Now, I'm not saying that this is like, initially what I was saying is that was the camera switching from the ultra wide lens to the telephoto lens on something like an iPhone or a Pixel phone. But what if that's another cut? What if that's him zooming in and then his friend then re-entering the frame over here, maybe where the shadow is, and grabbing the bottom of the shelf here and giving it a little bit of a nudge. That little bit of a nudge should be enough for that to slide back down, especially considering we hear a little bit of a vibration. This can also be a smooth cut. You see how everything got like a little blurry there? There could be a smooth cut there as well. It doesn't move again. He just freaks out and runs away. There's no reflection in these that we can like surmise, maybe like a sneaky like reflection, maybe this like black bar here on it is the guy over here manipulating it. But we're basically, it's a pretty clever cut. It's a pretty clever video put together, I don't necessarily think that there's actually anything supernatural here happening here. It's curious, but I could probably replicate it if I did what I said. Now, does anything else happen? I'm pretty sure the curtain moves up and down.
As he walks deeper into the room where the body...
Interesting. However, easy to fake. The curtain action might not be so easy to fake, just based on the simple premise of like, there you go. Let's take a look at this again. Maybe we can figure out how this works.
Still, and then clear as...
It's air. That's air pressure. So the curtain doesn't like jolt upward. It doesn't fold in a natural way, like similar to how, like, let's say like this sheet of paper was the curtain. If somebody were to push on that curtain, there'd be a very clear fold in the curtain because these plastic curtains, they're quite heavy. What's happening is it's moving like that. So what that tells me is there's possibly an air current or an air vortex in there that increases the pressure, or somebody's opened up a door, or there's a fan that's blowing on the curtain. And maybe when he turns around to look at it in this like sort of black zone we see here, he puts another dubious, like another little cut. And that extra little cut is probably, in my opinion, like right here. Maybe he puts another cut in here where there's like utter pandemonium. Like there's so much movement that we could like very easily put a cut like
as he walks,
I don't know. We can very easily put a cut there, and that would be enough for Buddy to restage himself on the other side, like his spread to restage himself on the other side, and you know, blow on it. And so much as just closing a door or turning on a fan or any kind of thing like that. Anybody with a decent amount of understanding of the environment that they're filming in, or at least the mechanics of the place that they work, should be able to put something like this together very easily. I know how the operations of my entire building work when I'm at work. I know all those ceiling tiles that move when the AC kicks in. I know all that stuff, but you don't. So to you, you're uneducated in the environment that I'm operating in, and therefore everything has a layer of magic to it, mysticism to it. The fact of the matter is that this person is probably fairly familiar with video editing and can do those cuts very easily. Everything that I explained there, depending on how I, edit and cut this video, is exactly how I would do. But I still don't have enough energy to really land this plane. So why don't we just leave it at that and continue? And then hopefully Ripple Cut will help me out here.
Where the bodies...
Oh, this ought to be interesting.
Post gaming content on his social media. He's not a ghost hunter, and he's definitely never filmed anything paranormal.
Just a quick thing to touch on this. When you have a particular niche, like this guy he's a YouTuber who films video game footage. Just because this is what his main audience or main content is, does not mean he is not above doing editing to create a ghost video. Now, the reason this is important to note is that when you have a particular, let's say you're running a business, okay? People who come into your business love pancakes, but you want them to buy waffles, right? You're going to run a promotion on waffles to dip into that other pool. Maybe the people who like pancakes, 50% of those people go, okay, I tried the waffles. I actually like the waffles. You've just gained 50% more followers. That's a really stupid analogy. He's dipping into, I'm stupid. Okay, so this one's probably going to be pretty interesting. This guy is in video. Okay, this one's probably going to be pretty interesting. So this guy is basically a YouTuber. He records video game footage and then does, commentary on top of it, or, plays the games. Now, the setup here is that he doesn't film ghost videos. Like, he's not a ghost, he's not a paranormal channel, so therefore he's credible. Now, the reason this isn't necessarily true is because we're looking at a content creator here who is trying to dip into a separate pool of viewers. I came here to watch his ghost video, but I found his other content enjoyable, so I stayed. If I do something like this, like if Nick and I were producing a paranormal video, and then all of a sudden we had a shoe video come out, and everybody flocked to the video to watch the shoes. And then 20% of the viewers who came to watch that shoe video realized, hey, they also do ghost videos, and I like ghost videos. They'll stay for us. We just gained 20% more followers based on a video that has nothing to do with our channel. It's very easy for content creators like this, who create nothing but videos on I don't know, this is Arc Raiders or something. He plays video games, like think about Peter Gamlin. I know a lot of people don't know anything about this guy. So there's a guy on YouTube. His name is Peter Gamlin. I think it's Peter Gamlin Dog Training or something like that. This guy basically creates dog training and like videos about training animals or talking about animals. And he had a very small following. And then he released one paranormal video about like saying, "Oh, my dad killed a Bigfoot when I was younger, and his body's in my freezer. Here's his hand." And everyone was like, "What the fuck?" That's how I found the guy. Was that one video. Like, I watched a video, he's one of his videos a long time ago that was like, it had trended, like, what do you call it, was semi-viral, saying ravens are assholes, and a lot of people were sharing that on 9gag and stuff. And so when I went to go watch this video, this other video popped up of his where he was showing off a Bigfoot that he had, and I was like, that is so fucking weird. But you know what? I stayed on his channel because of that weirdness attracted me to the other videos, and I watched some of his other videos. Now he's like completely crazy. But I was not interested in his dog training videos or his animal videos or anything else on his channel. But I came to watch that one video, and I found, you know, I stuck around a little bit longer than I would normally, because he had other things that interested me on his channel. That's how this guy is doing his thing. He's released a video, he's released a ghost video to attract ghost video people to come to his channel, to explore his channel. And, you know, maybe 30% of those people who come in, they stay. That could be like 300,000 new followers, if 1 million people checked in his ghost video. Anyway, let's just let's see what his ghost video is.
Complaints a few too many times, Michael's dad sets up a camera pointing out the bedroom window. What he captures chills him to his core.
All right, look, it's starting now.
Okay.
The security light turns on. It picks up.
Okay. Motion.
And then it walks back. It's at the corner of the house.
Was there a sidewalk there?
You see him walking?
Oh, I'm not looking at Frost. I'm looking at a yard. Yeah, there's a physical person walking through his brush. Yeah. Okay. What you have is a trespasser who realized they were trespassing and then left.
At 4:27 a.m., long before sunrise,
Blaze it.
a small translucent figure strolls through the backyard along the tree line.
So
Now, normally,
let's dismiss the translucency because that's just a product of security cameras. Security cameras, they batch pixels together and stuff like that. And the way that security cameras work is you're not going to catch a ghost on security footage. What you're going to catch is a low memory system kicking back into gear and then trying to interpret what data it's seeing with the limited amount of light that it has access to. The only reason so much of this is sharp, like we see all these trees and everything over here, is because nothing in this environment has changed for long enough that when it was light out, the camera recognized this area, and then so little changed over time that it still has that baked in image of sunrise. And you can see like the light effects on some of these branches and everything, that to say that there is light being directly cast into them. It's nighttime. There's no light being cast onto them right now. This is pre-existing data that the system is recycling over and over again because nothing has changed. The only thing that changes is the person who's walking through the scene. And the only reason it changes, and it only changes these areas here. You can see a blocking here. You can see a blocking here. You can see blocking here. This is it grouping pixels that are similar together into one block. So this entire section over here is a freeze frame of black, and it's only ever going to be black. And if somebody walked over top of this, it would only decompress that, basically open up those pixels if the motion was bright enough or had enough data to do so. So what we're looking at here is all of these pixels around this guy have been blocked in. They're all frozen. And the reason that he looks ethereal, like the reason he looks translucent, is because all of these things are blocked in, and it's trying to interpret data from somebody who's 50 feet away with zero visibility. If I were to go out there and take a look, I would probably barely see the guy as it is. This infrared camera cannot detect enough light coming off of that guy to interpret what it's seeing, so therefore only a handful of pixels move, which is why he appears transparent.
I just saved a little kid and probably some bad camera compression.
It's 100% what it is.
This figure seems a bit off. It
Okay.
doesn't really move like a child, but more like a very small adult. Maybe.
So the Short Kings rise up. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck do you mean by that? It doesn't move like a kid. It moves like a small man. Try to explain that to me. What the fuck are you trying to say here? Be it a child. What is it? They don't walk with authority. Or they walk with authority. Children don't have authority. Fuck off.
3 to 4 feet tall.
3 to 4 feet tall. What data? Where are you gleaning that from? At what point in this video did a fucking ruler show up and that you looked at it and went, oh, 3 to 4 feet tall? This guy, this branch here, very easily could be 3 to 4 feet off, and you can see how tall he is after that. There's a guy who's walking towards the brush because he's cutting through this person's yard to get home at the end of the day because he's walking at night. And you surmise that he's 3 to 4 feet tall and he doesn't walk like a child. He walks like an adult or something. Fuck off.
At 4:27 a.m. just to wander around
Taking a fucking
yard. So
he's not wandering. He's cutting through the fuck. This guy's a fucking idiot.
A gnome, or just one very strange.
A guy out for a stroll.
Wanted to show me, everything changed. Wow. It was an abandoned house, and they wanted me to go in first.
Okay, I'll follow you. After you.
These guys are gonna rob him. He's like, nice camera gear.
Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed one of the men was moving behind me. And at that moment, my gut instinct kicked in loud and clear. Get out now.
I'm just gonna get one more shot, okay? One more shot. Oh, sorry. I'm just shooting, filming, and doing more. And then I'll come, okay?
I stayed calm, acted like I wasn't suspicious, and slowly walked back towards the entrance. But it seemed like they didn't want me to leave.
I'll come soon. I just want to shoot this. But you go, I'll stay. And then I come later. I'm just filming everything. Okay?
My man.
Okay.
Humans are always more dangerous.
And when I saw they were distracted, I made my move. At first, I walked at a normal pace, as off camera I had told them I'd forgotten something on the trail. But then, I heard footsteps coming after me, and that's when I ran.
My man.
Oh, I'm gonna have a sit. All right, guys, so I have made it to safety.
I think I recognize this guy.
I was off the isolated road because there's only one way up and one way down to that cave. The adrenaline is rushed out of me. I ran down that mountain. That's why I'm very, very sweaty.
Josh says that in his travels in Sri Lanka, most of the people he's met have been very friendly. But this encounter just seemed different.
What I would say, is they could be extremely friendly, and they just genuinely wanted to show me something in that abandoned house.
Go with your gut. Humans have evolved over thousands and thousands of years.
I've had those experiences.
Don't
in Sri Lanka where
never dismiss a gut feel. Your body and your mind has evolved. Centuries of evolution has given you the tools to recognize a threat and to run. That's what fight or flight is. Your hair standing on end when it all stands up, and is a response to a threat. It's to puff you up and make you look bigger from back when we were monkeys. So when you have a gut feeling like this and you think you're in danger, you probably are, and to go, because the chance that you're right and the chance that you're wrong don't fucking matter. Okay? If you're in danger or you feel like you're in danger, exit, leave the vicinity. Because the worst thing you're going to lose, or the most you're going to lose out at if you leave that situation, is you're going to lose out on maybe a couple minutes of fun, But the things you stand to lose by not going with that gut feeling and sticking around is your life. Never, ever dismiss a gut feeling. Never apologize for leaving or for not, dismissing somebody if you feel threatened.
Maria Sabina died in poverty at the age of 90, suffering from malnutrition.
Oh, that sucks.
Part of an exhibit on witchcraft, the Ocampo Museum in Guadalajara, Mexico.
I like how they put a cigarette in their mouth.
Figure of Maria Sabina. But soon after it went up, visitors began to complain, saying the figure moved or even tried to grab them.
It's a wax figure.
The video was recorded by one of the very frightened museum visitors.
This could be AI. Ah, that's deep. It did look like it moved a little bit.
The wax figure of Maria Sabina appears to quickly turn its head and look directly at the man. And as you might expect, he just freaks right out.
That's good. You can do that with like you can definitely do some editing on that. It'd be very easy. But
The man showed his video to museum manager Ricardo
it's
Barbosa,
so
who
subtle.
posted it online, and it immediately went viral.
Yeah.
Ricardo posted a second video to prove that the wax figure of Maria Sabina is definitely not supposed to move.
Well, it's a wax figure. If you had emotion, it'd be cracking around the neck. Yeah. It's solid piece, totally rigid. Yeah. When you look at the neck, you'd see inflection, like you'd see like compression on the wax, and the wax would crack. There's no reason to believe that this wax museum has set up a completely normal wax video or wax dummy and then rig it up to move. The only reason that you would do that is if you had an intention to create a haunted environment or to attract customers who want to come and see it haunted. Now, that being said, the head moving makes me want to go see this doll. So it's good. I would like to go see this because I'm very interested to see if I could capture something similar. If I'm ever in the area on vacation or what have you, then I will definitely check this wax dummy out. I'll record it for a couple hours to see if anything happens. Super interesting though.
It's just a wax figure that should
Yeah.
not move at all. So what do you think happened here?
So the interesting thing to note here, so there could be a forced perspective going on here. He could be filming and then overlaying on top of it another film where he's just like slightly moved to the side. So if I were to do this, again, this is how I would do it. I would film the whole face, and then what I would do is I would film the face from just a very slightly angled different, like just like maybe like a degree over to the side. And then what I would do is I would stitch those two pieces together. Like it would be basically like there could be a cut right there. You know, my other tabs.
So what do you think happened here?
It's fluid. It moves fluidly. It doesn't snap. It slowly turns. Like not slowly, it's quick, but you know what I mean? Like it's a fluid movement. So there is some text compression on the video. That could indicate some editing.
Move at all.
So we've got very clear shots here.
Here.
No, okay. So that's just his motion. That's it. That's him moving and the camera trying to keep up with the compression. Curious, very interesting. I would probably say that there is still a likelihood that this person has filmed these two, the head at like two very similar angles, and then just like cut out the head or whatever, and then just like, you know, did a smooth cut or some kind of transition there to do that. I would have to fuck around with DaVinci Resolve to try to get that to work, but that's cool. I like that. That was like so much more visible there. Check that out. When he zooms in, there's like a point he like repeats it. Oof, that's good. That's so cool. I'm a big fan of that.
Friends are staying in an Airbnb with their moms when they discover something.
Ooh, trapdoor.
A secret door hidden under a rug
Okay.
at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah, sure. It's just service access to the basement.
To see what was down there. So then I got my phone because
Wow.
I wanted to get a video of me going down there to like see what was down there because it was actually creepy.
Haley starts to record.
So what are you talking?
Open the door, revealing a dark cellar.
We found a secret.
She moves her jaw so much. Sorry, not the voice.
So it
What?
turns out someone is living down there. A woman's voice suddenly yells up at them from somewhere in the darkness.
Okay, so it's a duplex. So the basement is a. So she lives in an apartment upstairs, and the basement is connected to the other house. And there's a person who lives in the duplex or in the apartment below them. And that service hatch, the reason it's covered up by a rug is because there's a person who lives in the basement of a separate apartment, and those things are connected.
Now, they say they have no idea who was living in the cellar, but I have an idea. It was the owner. That's what I think. because I featured several videos on this channel of weird people who rent out their house and then just secretly hide inside somewhere.
What the hell?
You're the people that I let the house to, right?
Yeah.
You're here on holiday?
Yeah, who are you?
I own the house. I'm Richard. Hope you don't mind, but
Well, no, but it's a bit weird. What's happening? What's happening here?
look, this should be no problem. I'm not going to interfere with you.
But you're interfering with me now.
No.
And where's your clothes gone? Where's your clothes?
They're in the washing machine.
That makes sense. He's an elder. Okay, I get it. Okay, so he's an elderly man who lives in the house, and he's created a separate apartment in there, and then he has access points to it. So when he's not occupied, or when the Airbnb is not occupied, he still has service access to the rest of his house, but he doesn't need that much space, so he lives in a hidden wall segment. I understand why that would be maybe a little uncomfortable for certain people. So I would express that in the Airbnb listing. I do still live here, but I live in this separate entrance or this separate segment over here. If that's something that you should probably be disclosing that if you're renting an Airbnb. Anyway, I'm going to probably end it there. I've been recording for 43 minutes, but I'm going to cut this down to probably around 20 minutes. So thank you for tuning in. Let's cut the shot here. Let's do an outro. Yes, outros over intros. That's what Nick was saying. This was going to bring people. If you guys are still here, that's fantastic. Thank you very much for watching this all the way through. Please hit the subscribe button, maybe hit the like button if you like the kind of content we do here. If you guys are interested in seeing some more of the stuff like this, we have plenty of videos on the channel. Nick and I have been doing this for over a year now, and I think there's probably around 440 videos on the channel, including some paranormal investigations if you guys are interested in those. They are very old, and it's well before we knew what we were doing. So, take that with a grain of salt. Just enjoy the kind of content on there. If you like my kind of style where I'm a little bit more, when the coffee hasn't hit in yet, and again, I've been working a lot and doing some we can chat about this. This is the end of the video. Hey, you're still here. Why don't I tell you what's going on with me? Holy shit. I work at a grocery store. If you guys don't know that, I'm not going to disclose which grocery store because I'm not at liberty to discuss, the internal workings of my businesses and stuff like that. Let's just say I work at a grocery store. It's a very small grocery store, and it is incredibly cramped in there. And over the last couple of days, the last week, oh my God. So my department is very small. I work in the grocery department, and my department is very small. And most of the people in my grocery department are disabled in some way. There's some people with hernias, some people with blown out shoulders and things like that. Things that will say they can't do very much lifting. And in my grocery store, in the grocery store that I work for, there is no receiving bay. So everything that we do is they drop skids outside. We break down those skids. We put them on carts. We wheel them into the store manually, down a ramp into the store manually, and then stock the shelves and restock the back stock and everything like that. And the reason that I am so bloody fucking tired right now is because it's Christmas. So obviously we're bringing in eggnog and so many things. I haven't had a break. I've been taking a break in 3 or 4 days. And I mean a break, literally. I haven't taken breaks while I'm working. I'll get a coffee 15 minutes, as soon as the store opens, I get a coffee. And then the rest of the time, I'm doing work. I'm hand bombing thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds, literally thousands of pounds. The other day, we received 800 bottles of eggnog, and those bottles of eggnog weigh 3 pounds each. And the issue with it is that I'm doing all of this mostly by myself because we employ students mostly, which means that the work ethic isn't really there. And so me being, an adult and having an adult, I have bills to pay, rent to pay and stuff like that. I depend on my work to be able to pay my bills. And so for that, I do work. I work hard. And so the issue with it is that this 800 bottles is 2,675 pounds of eggnog alone. And that was just the eggnog in that order. There was also other milk items and stuff like that. And I had to move all of that mostly by myself because there was nobody else to help me. And the other guys who work in the department can't help me. And some of them are just fucking useless and don't want to do anything productive. And so that often leads me to doing things like receiving 6 skids from Unify on my own. and you know, skins of LaCroix. And so and when people call it sick, I'm the only person in the department, and then I have to do all this work on my own. And because we don't have pump jacks, we don't have any kind of assisted stuff, it's all being hand bombed by me. And like all of the like all these scratches and cuts and everything, that cardboard cuts, I wear gloves, but like, oh my God, do I have to like work my ass off there? I'm very worn out. I'm very tired. And so, you know, it's hard for me to get the energy going at these videos, or try to maintain the energy level in this video, because of how difficult it is to do my job, like to do my current work. And so that leads me to today, where I'm like trying to record a video for tomorrow. It's got to go live in a couple hours, or in a few hours for tomorrow. And I'm just so tired. Christmas is right around the corner. Today it's December 18th, so Christmas is like 5 days away, something like that. Whatever math works out to. Yeah, I don't know, 7 days or some shit. And so obviously we're getting more busy, and because Christmas this year falls on a Thursday, and then Boxing Day is Friday, whatever, Thursday and Friday. I think we're off this week or next week. But because we're closed on those days, all of the orders that I would receive on a Thursday or a Friday next week have to come this week. So all the orders are doubled, you know, 804 bottles of fucking eggnog, and you know, 20 cases of soup and stuff like that. And it might not sound like a lot, but the soup, a single bottle of soup, or a jar of soup is like 4 pounds, and there's 20 cases of them. It's 4 times 12. There's 48, I don't know, 48 pounds per. It's like 50 pounds per, and there's 20 of them. And I have to move those all by hand onto a cart, pull it down into the store, and then wheel it around this really tiny fucking store so that I can get it to either, you know, the receiver, the cooler or whatever. And the cooler is so jacked with eggnog right now that there's nowhere else for us to put things. So then I have to wheel it back out of the store and up around the store and into the coolers that are outside. Oh my God, I'm fucking tired. So, yeah, anyway, shit. Yeah, sorry. No, like I can talk as much as I want now, because if you don't like it, you're not here anymore. At least you watch most of the video, and cool. If you don't want to know more about me, that's fine. But anyway, that's gonna do it for today. I'm gonna go play some games. I was thinking about doing a couple of the recordings, but like again, I'm just so tired. I'll hit it tomorrow. Friday morning, I'll wake up. I'll film my episodes for next week, so that I don't have to think about it, and I can just relax and, you know, enjoy the holidays, and we'll see you later. So anyway, yeah. Yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah. Booze.
We cracked the code, we broke the spell. Another myth debunked so well. Till next time, don't be deceived. Stay sharp, stay smart. Believe in what's believed. Truth wins out every time. Truth wins out every time.